Good morning to all of you. Welcome to the program agenda. And I am your host, Cito Beltran, on this Wednesday, November 3, 2021. Thank you for subscribing to Cignal TV and watching us on channels 8 and 250, as well as on facebook.com/OneNewsPH. And on YouTube, you can watch us by typing in OneNewsPH. And thank you to PLDT for their home fiber optic internet service that keeps us always on the air here in Lipa City to the Philippines and parts of the world. Today, we will be featuring a very important subject matter, a very important topic. Now, just to be clear, lilinawin ko sa inyong lahat. Many of you seem to be impressed by surveys. Wow, si ganito ang lakas sa survey. Si ganito ang taas ng rating, etc. People just keep telling me, Cito, can you explain why so-and-so is so high in the ratings and so, even though he or she is in public service, has a lower rating, etc. Well, I cannot answer those questions. So the best thing that I can do is bring to the program a gentleman who is respected even by the seniors in our organization in the Philippine Star. Kasi si Mr. Buchanco po, who is a senior business columnist of the Philippine Star, posted the lecture of our guest today. But I won't jump the gun. I'm just telling you na ito pong taong to can help you understand, learn statistics, surveys, etc. para hindi kayo naloloko, nalilinlang, so that you are not misled or duped by surveys, particularly those that are often paid for by advertisers. Okay, but before that, let's go to our daily starter here on Agenda. Our daily starter for today is from the Blessed Mother Teresa. Stay where you are. Find your own Calcutta. Find the sick, the suffering, and the lonely right there where you are, in your homes and in your own families, in your workplaces and in your schools. You can find Calcutta all over the world if you have the eyes to see. Everywhere, wherever you go, you find people who are unwanted, unloved, uncared for, just rejected by society, completely forgotten, completely left alone. That is a quotation from the Blessed Mother Teresa, the Saint of Calcutta, and now a global saint for many people. And I just want to share that with all of you because as we become preoccupied going outdoors, shopping for Christmas, doing so many things, many of us, especially the adults, seem to have overlooked many people and have been blind to many situations. Yun na lang pong sinusulat kong column ngayon about our students in the universities, in colleges, who are crying out because they were not given SEM breaks or academic breaks. Eh tingnan niyo po yan, tayong mga medyo may edad na, mga graduate ng matagal na, we used to relish, look forward, and enjoy SEM break. The students now don't have it and they are protesting. And why? Kasi meron na pong nag-suicide. There is one reported case of suicide. Many students are depressed, burned out, overburdened, and you have to ask, what are the parents doing? What are the university officials doing? So you don't have to go to Calcutta to be a saint. Just look in your own home, in your own community, and you will find the people who need you and for whom you can make a difference. Yan po ang ating daily starter today, November 3, 2021, Wednesday. Now, let's now go to the front page of the Philippine Star. The headline, Department of Health warns of renewed COVID spike. Okay, the DOH is warning the public that depending on how well or how badly we all observe minimum public health, minimum health, public health standards or MPHS, we will either find ourselves with the lowest number of COVID cases by December at 2,139 estimate or guesstimate, or kung magwawala tayo if we become irresponsible and careless, there can be as much as 49,694 potential cases by December. The choice is yours. Do you want to have a Merry Christmas or do you want to have a medical emergency in Christmas? Okay, go back to the front page. On the header, at the header of the Philippine Star, Chinese firm in 1.6 billion PPE mess denies tax evasion. Zhu Construction Machinery Group denied allegations of tax evasion made by senators in the alleged Farmally anomalies. The company issued a statement through their lawyers and vehemently denied that there is such a situation. Okay, now back to the front page. The president, the president will attend the APEC summit on November 12, okay? But he will only be attending by camera, okay? The President, Rodrigo Duterte, will virtually attend in the opening and closing ceremonies of the APEC summit in November 12, and that announcement was made by Malacanang. It is expected that the APEC summit will focus primarily on the campaign against COVID-19. Okay, now let's go back to the news. Yan pong malaking picture na yan, that big picture that you see there, it is a photo. Hindi po yan simbang gabi. It is not the Misa de Gallo. It is commuters lining up along a pedestrian overpass. Umabot na doon sa pedestrian overpass ang pila dyan po sa may NEPA Q-Mart EDSA Carousel in Quezon City. Okay? Because November 2 was declared as a special working holiday. Okay, so yan po, that is the reality. Madilim pa, nakapila na ang Pilipino sa Metro Manila. Okta Research Group, in the meantime, said that depending on how things go, 1,000 daily cases in December is possible. Okay, according to Okta, if the trends continue, the downward trend of COVID-19 cases continue, we may find that we will only have 1,000 na laang in December. Okay, medyo iba yung DOH. Yung DOH, 2,139. Okay, let's move forward. That photo in the center spread of the front page. Okay, ano pala, 100,000, ayan po, mas malaking balita ito, 100,000 doses of vaccine destroyed in Zamboanga fire. Okay, unfortunately, there was a fire that happened in Zamboanga where 100,000 plus actually doses of COVID vaccine were destroyed. Okay, so that Sunday night in Pagadian City, Zamboanga. So yun po. But the good news is the DOH has swiftly moved to replace those destroyed vaccines. Okay, and there we have the photo. Okay, ala Spider-Man, itong tiga Petron. He is busy changing the prices for 11 kilogram LPG tanks, which has shot up from 824 pesos to 1,039. So ayan po, mag-iingat po kayo, be conscientious in how you cook, how you use your stoves, your LPG stoves, ovens, because the price of LPG has drastically gone up by as much as 215 per 11 kilogram tank, or 19.50 per 54 pesos per kilo. Okay, let's go back to the front page. Vaccine efficacy wanes after 6 to 8 months, boosters pushed. As you may recall, if you're a regular viewer of Agenda, we already featured this. We were interviewing Dr. Ronjin Solante, and who is part of the government panel, and he shared with us the studies, prevailing studies that have pointed out that vaccines are waning. So kung kayo ay nabakunahan noong March, April, medyo yung inyong bakuna mahina na. Your vaccines are weakening. So be careful about going out until you get the third shot. Okay. Meanwhile, Malacanang Palace, or the spokesperson, has called once again on the PhilHealth to pay the claims of the private hospitals, who once again have threatened, I am leaving. We are leaving. Alis na sila sa PhilHealth enrollment, and they will leave it up to consumers to make claims with PhilHealth. So medyo concerned po ang Malacanang on the matter. Why? Because if the private hospitals disengage from PhilHealth, the problem of collections and reimbursements will be on the shoulder of the patients or patient's family, who will now have to go on their own to PhilHealth offices. So dadagsain, PhilHealth offices will be filled by people, and those very people will also be angry voters in 2022. Yan po ang political repercussions niyan. Okay, further, we now are down to 2,303 cases of COVID-19. Sadly, our number of deaths has not drastically gone down. Sana man lang bumaba na lang to double digit. It's still at 128 Filipinos that died yesterday, totaling 43,404. Okay. And further in the news, okay, there's a photograph of someone lighting candles and offering a prayer in front of his home in Manila on Monday. Kasi po, the government closed cemeteries in Metro Manila, and people are not allowed to do mass gatherings except doon sa Dolomite Beach, kung saan nalusutan yung mga park rangers and DNR marshals. Anyway, at least if you remember your loved ones, remember the good times, and love those who are still alive. Okay, last but not the least, The Commission on Election says there is no reason to cancel the deal with the Dennis Uy linked firm or F2 Logistics. Kasi naman daw po, sila ay tracking services laang. They are simply delivering the election materials, equipments, and paraphernalia. And that they won fair and square. So matagal na rin naman po in existence yung F2 Logistics. Ang controversial, si Dennis Uy, hindi yung F2 Logistics. That's life, okay? So there you have it, the front page of the Philippine Star. Tayo naman po ay tumuloy. Let's go to our main program, which is an interview with someone. Okay, now listen to his credentials. Kasi alam nyo, the reason I love to read people's credentials is because I've said time and again, it establishes their competency, their experience, their authority. Okay. And for today's interview, we have a professional statistician and senior research fellow of the Philippine Institute of Development Studies. Huwag niyo pong isipin na ito isang tiga-bilang lang, a pencil pusher or a bean counter. Hindi po. Yung PIDS or PIDS, yan po yung center ng gobyerno doing all of these important studies. Our guest finished BS Math in Applied Mathematics from De La Salle University in 1988 and graduated summa cum laude lang. Okay, he took up his master's in statistics in 1989 and hindi pa nakontento. Nag-PhD pa in 1993 in the State University of New York in Stony Brook. Okay, he was former faculty of De La Salle University, joined government service as a junior manager at then Statistical Research and Training Center until he became a senior research fellow at PIDS. He is also a member of various bodies and expert groups on statistics and related matters, including the United Nations Global Pulse Privacy Advisory Group and the Philippine Committee on Higher Education's Technical Committee on Statistics. His areas of expertise include poverty measurement, diagnostics, agricultural statistics, education statistics, survey design, data mining, and statistical analysis of missing data. Okay, sandali. Totoo kaya ito? He entered Benedictine monk at the Benedictine Abbey in San Beda. Is also a cancer survivor. Okay, let's welcome our guest, Dr. Jose Ramon Albert, Toots Albert for short. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Cito. I'm glad to be here with you.
Okay, Dr. Albert, you are so respected by people I respect. So you are on a next level higher than most people in my realm, okay? And you are acknowledged for your knowledge in statistics and as well as survey. Kanya naman nakiusap ako kay Bu Chanko, Bu, please help me to get Dr. Albert on the program because a lot of people are confused, wondering, bewildered with the way surveys are coming out in the Philippines. Do you have an initial observation on this situation, Dr. Albert?
Yeah, well, kasi let me just say that there's a lot of data around. No? It's not just surveys. You also have now big data, the use of the internet. No, the only thing is the not everybody is connected to the internet, and moreover, some magnify their presence in the internet because they may be trolls, they may be whatever. So unfortunately, this big data, if you're going to use it as a way to track who is like, let's say you look at Google Trends now, meron tayo tawag na Google Trends, pupunta mo yung website nila, and you will be able to see sino kaya ang lamang dito sa mga kandidato, 5, you compare. Unfortunately, it's not quite a reliable measure. You can get some signals, but on, biglang may tumaas on a certain day dahil siguro may some event. But generally, there's a little bit of unreliability when you're using big data, no? Now, yung surveys naman ganun din, no? Unfortunately, surveys, you have a lot of firms who are now conducting surveys. Pati nga sa Facebook, di ba? Minsan may mga kaibigan ka, biglang magtatanong lang, ilan sa inyo ang boboto kay ganyan? Or meron pang mga groups, no, na nagsasabi, put a like, put a heart kung ito yung gusto nyong kandidato. Unfortunately, again, when you're looking at those kinds of surveys, hindi siya reliable as a way of getting a picture of what's going on nationally. Kasi, ang storya kasi nito ganito, no? Kunwari may grupo ka na mga kaibigan. Lahat kayo pro-Lacson, kunwari, no? Kung lahat kayo pro-Lacson, so pag tinanong mo, sino iboboto mo? Di 100% sasabihin nila Lacson. But I don't think 100% talaga yun. Kasi syempre si Lenny, si Isko, si Bongbong, lahat sila, boboto nila sarili nila. So, imposibleng 100%. So, kaya yun yung nagiging problema kasi minsan, ang issue doon is paano mo makakakuha ng isang survey na kinakatawan yung buong Pilipinas. So, dapat, meron ka talagang tinatawag na either physical list, may listahan ka ng mga pangalan na sino-sino yung mga boboto, tapos doon ka magdodraw ng sample. It really must be a probability sample. Dapat chance mechanisms ang pagpili ng respondent. Kung hindi chance, kung kunwari Facebook, internet survey, magte-text ka sa mga tao at sabihin mo sino boboto, hindi yun reliable, unfortunately. They can give you some ideas based on kung sino yung sumagot, pero hindi yun ibig sabihin na na-estimate niya very well yung nangyayari sa buong bansa.
Okay, Dr. Albert, you mentioned some interesting things. So first, you mentioned if there is a big event and then nagpa-survey yung isang tao, malamang at malamang yung magandang event na yon makaka-apekto sa outcome ng isang survey. So, okay.
Posible.
Ngayon, kasi napansin ko lang, no, and I'm kind of wondering, okay, when a survey is paid for by a candidate or by a company, is it still a valid survey? Kasi may mga companies naman talaga na nagpapasurvey para makita nila kung ano yung sitwasyon outdoors. But when it comes to politics, are paid surveys to be taken as half-truths or, just paid propaganda?
It can be either or, no? Kaya importante, tatanungin mo rin, sino ba ang nagsasurvey? Kasi if you have an organization that has built a professional track record, na nakikita naman nila na, sige, may nagpapasurvey. Kasi minsan ganun talaga, merong financier ng isang survey. Yun yung mga special surveys na ginagawa ng certain groups, no? So kung yung mga nagpapasurvey na ganyan, kailangan lang kasi sana alam natin na sino ba nag-finance ng survey na yan. Minsan yung organizations on their own, nagsa-survey sila tapos meron silang tinatawag ng mga subscribers. So in a way, yung mga nagbabayad marami, no? So hindi ganun ka serious yung issue. Pero yung ibang tao, sinasabi nga nila pag may nagbayad na isang tao lang nagpabayad o isang organization nagpabayad, medyo magdududa ka ng konti kung reliable siya. Pero kung yung organization na yun has built a very good track record, at alam natin na hindi nila imamagic yung results para pagandahin yung resulta para dun sa nagpa-survey, then pwede pang paniwalaan. Kaya lang nagiging issue nga ganito, na kunwari meron akong very reputable organization, may nagpa-survey sa akin. Tapos, usually yung organization na yun, hindi niya i-release sa public because parang ang may-ari ng resulta nun, yung nagpagawa ng survey. Kaya lang minsan, yung mga nagpagawa ng survey, pag alam nilang maganda yung storya na para sa kanila, ayun i-release nila sa publiko na, eto, sabi ni ganitong organization, kami ang lumalamang. Pero kapag hindi maganda, itatago nila.
Okay. So, it's interesting, no? Kasi unang sinabi mo, Depende kung sino yung survey company. Because in the past, na a number of survey groups or companies have been challenged kasi yung may-ari or head ng survey company kamag-anak ng isang congressman, senador, or presidente, sinasabi nila. And of course, also, may sinabi kang mga subscribers, parang dalawa kasi yung klase ng taong gumagamit ng survey. Yung mga kumpanyang nagsusubscribe o kumbaga parang Netflix, di ba? Nagsusubscribe tayo sa Netflix because we want to watch their different movies. Ngayon, sa survey naman, companies use survey results for their business decisions. Pero yung isa, yung survey na binayaran ng isang tao, kandidato or kumpanya because they want to know what's happening there or they want to manipulate the public impression. Now, is this possible or is this a known practice in the industry, Dr. Albert? I don't want to put you in a bad spot or difficult spot because is the integrity of survey companies still intact or have some actually colluded with companies or governments to come up with desired results?
Yeah, well, kaya nga importante yung track record, no? Kasi in a way, if you think about doing even yung mga pag-aaral, no, no matter what, I mean, even if you think of a survey as, parang pag-aaral rin siya, kailangan mo ng pera. So ang issue kasi diyan is kailangan transparent ka rin. Kung ang isang firm start saying, oh, eto, ang nagbayad ng survey nito is ganitong kandidato, then at least alam ng publiko, no? And they can make a judgment kung palagay nila may bahid. At nangyayari yan, talaga, na hindi lang sa survey nga. I'm getting into a larger issue about research in general.
Yes, please.
So, pag mga pag-aaral, kunwari, no, let me be most specific. Sabihin nila, ang ganitong sigarilyo makapagdudulot ng maayos na kalusugan. Tapos makita mo sino ba yung nagpabayad ng pag-aaral nito, biglang makita mo yung a cigarette company. Di syempre mag-iisip ka, naku baka mamaya minagic nga kasi yun yung issue doon, minamagic ba yung resulta. Pero kung yung organization, yung researcher na yan, ang gumagawa niyan ay tanyag at ayaw niya kasi siguro tulad ng sabi mo may mga ibang kandidato o na nangyayari pinsan niya, tiyuhin niya yung presidente ng isang organisasyon tapos sila yung nagpa-survey. Minsan sasabihin mo baka naman may bahid. Pero ang issue nga dyan dito is kung yung mga professional yung mga gumagawa at ayaw nilang kasi syempre iniisip ng mga professionals buhay ko to, pangalan ko to. So kung pinapangalagaan nila yung pangalan nila, sisiguraduhin nila na ang datos na kinukolekta nila ay reliable. Pero kung ang mga kung sino-sino lang yung mga pero may mga diyan bayaran, no? Pero
Okay.
aminin ko 'yan.
Dr. Albert, you touch on a very important point, no? Yung kung sino-sino lang. Kasi before the election, ang nadidinig lang naman, or campaign, hindi pa nga campaign, mga walang yung mga yan, nangangampanya rin. Anyway, before the political season really took off, dati madidinig mo lang yung mga isa, dalawa o tatlong sikat, well-known survey organizations. But suddenly now, and I'm sorry to people, pot-pot, tamaan, wag magagalit, but you have surveys being conducted by schools, surveys conducted by media, by newspaper, by radio programs, etc. And may mga nagtatanong sa akin, Kuya, reliable ba itong mga ganitong, so they are not technically, officially, or structurally survey firms, but they are conducting yung sinasabi mong nagkakanvas. Could you please make the distinction between a real survey firm and some people who are just using it for publicity?
Yeah, well, yun nga kasi unfortunately sa isang organisasyon kailangan kang mag-survive, no?
Mhm.
Even sa academe, no, kunwari sa mga eskwela, sila yung may mga unit sa may research center sila sa isang eskwela at gusto nilang mag-conduct ng survey. Minsan kasi nasa sa mandato nila 'yon, no?
Mm.
Kaya lang humahanap sila ng pagkakataon para ma-finance nga yung kanilang operations. Wala namang problema doon kung yung mga tao nga na gumagawa ng survey na 'yon, medyo maayos yung reputasyon nila. Ang reputation is built in time, no? It's a track record. So
Mhm.
unfortunately, sa ngayon, well, even me, to be quite honest, mas naniniwala lang ako sa isa, dalawang organisasyon, no, ngayon na medyo tanyag. Kung yung iba, they have to give me the trust. They have to earn my trust.
Mhm.
And that will happen as the years go by. So sa ngayon, pwedeng bigyan ko ng konting a little bit of room for doubt na and room for optimism na baka naman okay. Pero titignan ko rin, ang gagawin ko, i-compare ako dun sa mga tanyag na mga gumagawa ng survey. Kasi kung medyo ang layo ng resulta, medyo mag-iisip ka na, ano kaya naging storya? Posibleng dahil, yun nga, nagpapabayad sila, pwede yun.
Mhm.
Pero pwede rin naman na mali yung paraan nila ng pagkukolekta ng datos. Kunwari yung internet survey, no?
Okay.
Tulad ng pagkakasabi ko lang sa kanya, may mga media organization na at maski merong mga ibang organization na akala nila dahil may survey ginawa ng isang media organization, radyo, gano'n man, TV, kung sino man, alternative media, nagpa-survey sila, biglang yung mga naglalagay lang na ay mga netizens. Ang problema noon, may tinatawag na lang yon, yung self selection, yung participation ng mga participant dun sa survey, sila yung opting in to the survey, and there is no way for us to find out how these persons represent the entire country. Kaya yun
Mhm.
yung problema, medyo flawed yung design ng mga survey. Meron din kunwari na isang survey outfit fairly recent, no, nagsabi na
Oh.
gumamit sila ng tinatawag na purposive sampling. Ano ibig sabihin ng purposive? Ibig sabihin ng
Purposive, ah.
purposive, sila yung humanap ng respondents based on, sa kanilang judgment call kung sino ang ise-select nila based on meron tinatawag silang frame na yung tinatawag na sampling frame, kung yung listahan kung saan sila kukuha 200,000 names daw ng isang Singaporean firm. Ang problema doon, unang-una, hindi naman nila sabi sinong Singaporean firm na yon. Ikalawa,
Mhm.
bakit purposive ang gagamitin mo? At saka hindi rin natin alam yung listahan na yon, kinakatawan ba yung ng buong Pilipinas? Bakit 200,000 Filipinos na yon? Parang sub-sample siya ng list of voters. But you will also wonder what's the nature of that. So maraming katanungan. Tapos pag nakita mo yung resulta nila, ang layo doon sa resulta ng yung mga matanyag na firm. So kaya yun yung nagiging issue diyan. So posibleng dahil nagpabayad sila, so nababahiran yung resulta. Pero pwede rin namang kahit nababayaran, hindi mababahiran yung resulta kung professional yung mga gumagawa ng survey. Pero ang isa pang issue nga doon is paano kinulekta nila yung datos. Kung ang pagkakakolekta nila ng datos ay yun nga, gumagamit sila ng chance mechanisms, probability methods para makuha yung mga participants doon sa survey, pwede pa kasi ang nangyayari noon, ma-estimate mo yung weights na tinatawag na bawat taong nandoon sa survey may kinakatawan na another set of people in the entire population.
Okay, Dr. Albert, okay, tanungin ko kasi laging sinasabi, nagpa-survey po kami 1,200 respondents. Lagi na lang 1,200 respondents. Sabi ko, tumanda na ako sa media, minsan hindi pa ako na-survey, hindi ako natawagan o hindi ako natanong. So sabi ko, saan kaya ginagawa ito? Is the use of 1,200 as a sampling population o bilang ng mga isa-survey, accurate ba yan? Representative ba yan? And paano mo masasabing representative yung 1,200 na yun, Dr. Albert?
Okay, meron kasi tayong merong theory sa statistics, no, na tinitignan niya kasi kung ang survey nga is probability yung pagse-select. So kung kunwari dahil probability chance, kung kunwari ulitin mo yung survey, iba na naman makukuha mo. Ulitin mo ulit, iba na naman makukuha mo.
Mhm.
Assuming na fairly stable yung estimate, yung actual proportion ng mga tao, yung bahagdan ng populasyon na boboto sa isang kandidato. Kunwari isang kandidato lang, boboto mo ba o hindi? Yun lang ang tanong mo.
Mhm.
So kung yung bahagdan na yun hindi muna nagbabago tapos paulit-ulit kang nagse-survey ng 1,200 na gumagamit ka ng chance mechanisms, yung mga estimates mo nagbabago. Pero ang pagbabago niya more or less medyo magkakalapit pa rin sila kahit na nagbabago. Kunwari sabihin natin 75%, 74, 74.5, 74.3, yung mga medyo umaakit baba lang sa medyo halos magkakalapit na
Mhm.
figures. Yun yung tinatawag na margin of error. Yung totoong value kasi natin, hindi natin alam. Makukuha lang natin kapag nag-census tayo, kapag talagang yung botohan na mismo, makukuha natin kung ano yung totoong figure.
Mhm.
Kaso, pag yung sa statistics, yung totoong proportion, may estimate mo yun na within a margin of error na medyo malapit-lapit, gaano kalayo with 95% confidence, I can do calculations. It's supposed to be ang margin of error is estimated as 1 over the square root of the sample size. So ibig sabihin, kahit na malaki yung populasyon mo, kung kunwari 3 million o 10
Mhm.
million o 100 million yung populasyon mo, it doesn't matter. The margin of error, pag kinalculate mo, 3%, no? 3% ang gusto kong margin of error. 3% equals 1 over the square root of little n, no? So pag
Mhm.
kinalculate mo algebra, makukuha mo 1,111. So
Mhm.
in fact, that's why they use 1,200 kasi pag lalakihan mo pa imbis na
Ah.
1,111, lalakihan mo di 1,200, mas makakasigurado ka pa na nandun ka sa 3 percentage points error, margin of
Ay,
error.
yun. So, kumbaga, no, algebraic formula lang pala yung pagkuha ng 1,200 respondents. Okay, let's go for a quick break, Dr. Albert. And when we come back, no, medyo detalye na yung mga itatanong ko sa inyo kung paano, ano yung mga reaction nyo dito sa mga surveys ng dyaryo, radyo at telebisyon. We'll come back. We'll be right back here on Agenda. Okay, welcome back to the program Agenda. We have with us a very well respected statistician and expert on numbers and surveys. We have with us Dr. Jose Ramon Albert, Dr. Toots. Okay, I would like to ask you very simple question na lang kasi itatanong ko yung tinatanong sa akin ng marami. Okay, paano ba ito? Kapani-paniwala ba itong survey nitong dyaryo na ito o ng telebisyon na ito o ng radyo na ito na si ganito ay ang taas daw ng survey pero hindi naman siya sikat? Bakit ganun?
Yun nga kasi minsan unfortunately meron tayong mga ano tawag dito, mga may tinatawag na cognitive bias, no? Tayo generally, we tend to associate with certain people. So pag minsan mga kasama natin yung mga let's say bilib tayo sa mga Marcoses. So ang tendency natin is yung mga grupo natin, sabihin natin, malakas si Bongbong. Tapos pag nakakita tayo ng survey na hindi ganon yung sinasabi, magdududa ka. Kapag naman yung survey na yon sinasabi niya, mataas si Bongbong, maniniwala ka, no? So yun yung tinatag na cognitive bias. I think we have to get out of that cognitive bias and we have to start nga doing a little bit of research, no? Kung tanungin muna natin, sino ba ang gumawa? Unang-una. Sino ang nagpabayad ng survey? Paano nila ginawa? So yung tatlong question lang na yon, kapag tinanong mo yon at medyo maghihimay-himay ka ng sagot doon ka eventually maniniwala. Dapat maging suspicious tayo sa lahat ng surveys. Because surveys, not all surveys are equal. Some are good, some are not so good. Yun yung storya natin. So, paano natin ma-analyze, malalaman kung ang survey ay medyo dapat bang kapani-paniwalaan? Una, tanungin natin, sino ang nag-survey? Sino ang nagbabayad ng survey? At pangatlo, paano nila kinuha yung datos? Tapos, minsan din, posibleng okay na yung mga sagot na yan. Kaya lang, biglang inaano ng konti, nasuskew ng konti dahil may propaganda element. Hindi naman necessarily yung survey firm. Posible naman yung mismong kandidato, medyo sasabihin nila, pangalawa ako, talaga ang lapit ko na, kahit na malayo, yun, di ba? Yun yung nagiging issue rin diyan. So kailangan medyo maging ang publiko ay dapat maging critical sa pagbabasa ng kahit anong mga datos na mga nanggagaling sa survey. Kasi unfortunately, ang mga kandidato may tendency, they try to influence the public. But actually, I will also tell you honestly, ang mga pag-aaral tungkol sa mga resulta ng survey, halos walang effect yung mga survey results sa public mindset. Ang nangyayari lang kasi is pag nakuha kang survey, akala kasi natin na parang nagkakaroon ng tatawag na bandwagon effect na kapag alam nating nananalo si ganyan, sige, doon na rin ako boboto. May konting ng evidence pero hindi malakas yung ebidensya na nagkakaroon ng mga titag na bandwagon effects o di kaya yung mga epekto na kapag medyo hindi lumalamang siya'y kulelat. Tapos sabihin na, kawawa naman si kandidato. Doon na lang ako boboto.
Yeah, Dr. Toots, okay, that's interesting. You said that generally the surveys do not add favor to the outcome of a candidacy. Kumbaga, hindi nakakatulong sa pagpapanalo ng isang kandidato. And it's interesting because I remember a quote from Benjamin Netanyahu where he said, I am always performing badly in all the surveys in every election, but come election day, I always win. And in fact, in the last election, montik-montikana na naman siyang manalo, di ba? In any case, but ano ang nagiging papel ng survey? Kasi lumalabas, hindi pa nga kampanya Ano ba ito? Pampapagwapo, pampaganda lang ba ng mga kandidato para makakolekta sila ng pera sa mga potential supporter?
Ayun, yun yung actually gamit ng survey. The survey itself may not influence the public on kung sino ay iboboto. Kasi ang tendency naman talaga ng mga tao, iboboto mo kung sino yung medyo nalalapit sa puso mo because of whatever it is na you want this personality to minsan may tendency tayo, ang pogi ni ganyan, boboto mo si ganyang kandidato, ang ganda niya, nako, ang ganda ng itsura niya, very so may mga tendency tayo na bumoboto tayo based on our own yung nga may biases pa rin tayo on who we want to select. Pag narinig lang natin yung mga survey result, posibleng may konting parang extra information but it does not really change your mind. Ang nagpapaiba ng ating pananaw, hindi lang pananaw pero yung pagpili ng final na iboboto natin is kapag merong extra propaganda na nakikita natin sa TV, sa print media, yun yung lumalabas. It's more the propaganda. So in a way, you're absolutely right that the survey itself does not have a direct consequence on the public views, but because yung mga campaign strategists, nakikita nila, ay, medyo malapit na, anong gagawin natin? Sino ang ano? So they are starting to develop strategies para manalo yung kandidato nila. Kaya nag-iiba yung resulta and eventually nananalo yan si Netanyahu because they use data intelligently. They're able to identify saan ako mahina. Kunwari si Trump, no? Donald Trump. Bakit mananalo si Donald Trump pag naisip mo sa US? Dahil mahina naman siya. Pero kasi sa Amerika, electoral college ang namimili kung sino nananalo. So ang ginawa niya, nag-concentrate siya sa mga strongholds, possible strongholds niya. Tapos he started ensuring na makukuha niya yung certain states. Anyway, he won. The polls, you thought Hillary would win, no? Many people thought and they thought wrong because yun nga, una ang tendency ng sa mga survey, at least sa Amerika, napipili nila kasi telephone calls usually yan sa Amerika. Because everybody in the US has a phone. Okay lang.
At saka voter registration. The campaign groups have access to list of voters registry and their contact numbers.
Yes, exactly. Pero ang ginagawa kasi sa Amerika is meron na state polls. So every state, Pennsylvania, New York, Louisiana, may mga kanya-kanyang polls, meron tinatawag kanya-kanyang survey. Tapos makukuha mo yung picture na sige, sino lumalamang dito. Ang tendency sa Amerika nangyari kaya na mistake nila na mananalo si Hillary was because Hillary ang mga nakukuha nilang mga respondent usually mga certain types of voters. Tapos yung mga ibang mga very Donald Trump the trumpets na tinatawag, hindi sila nagpapa-survey. Ayaw nila pag merong kumuha sa nag-survey sa telepono, babagsakin yung telepono. Ayaw nila magpa-survey. So ang nangyari ngayon, na-underestimate yung share ni Donald Trump. So yun tapos na-accumulate yun. Kapag ginawa mo yun across states, kaya na-predict nila wrongly that Hillary would win. So yun yung storya sa kanila. Sa atin naman, we win by national, no?
Yeah.
Pero ang ginagawa ng usual survey outfits, tinitignan nila kasi kunwari 1,200, ihihiwalay-hiwalay nila na Metro Manila 300, Balance Luzon 300, Visayas 300, Mindanao 300, para magkaroon rin ng reading at those specific areas, again for campaign strategies are concerned. Kasi alam natin na dito sa Mindanao, sa anong pinakamalaki na populasyon ng voters. So si kandidato will start saying, malapit na ako kay ganito. Kahit na so it's really meant to help strategies.
Okay, so what's happening is surveys help create an impression that the candidate is a potential or a sure winner so that they can collect campaign funds or campaign support. Second, it gives the campaign strategists a better picture where they are weak, where they are strong, or which age group supports their candidates or not. Okay. Now, going back to the public at large, kanina kasi sinabi mo that surveys don't really determine the outcome of the election. Is this based on a scientific research or is this a general observation?
No, what I mean is, kung kunwari ngayon, October pa lang, May pa ang ating eleksyon, medyo malayo pa ang final outcome. So pwedeng posible pang magbago yung not just the survey results but the actual results, no?
The political landscape.
Yes, exactly. So ang issue nga dyan is how the campaign strategies, and tama ka, pera, kasi kailangan talaga ng pera para sa not just the strategy but the actual campaign operations itself, no? So kaya most of the time yung mga financiers, mga big businessmen, tinitignan rin nila sino ba lumalamang at kung sino, although may mga iba dyan, binibigyan lahat, no? Pero baka mas pero mas binibigyan nila si kandidato A because ay siya ang lamang, baka mas siya ang mananalo. So yung tumataya, kumbaga tumataya. May ibang mga big business din na tumataya sa lahat para kung sakaling pag ano na, kung sino man manalo, okay lang siya, no?
Mhm.
Pero ang punto ko is nagbabago-bago yung mga bahagdan sa survey ng mga boboto sa isang kandidato, pero usually based on sa aking pagkikita ng mga datos in the past, yung pinakatanyag natin SWS and Pulse, sila yung nag-survey 1 month before or
Mhm.
somewhere around that period, halos ang lapit ng estimate na sa totoong figure at nakukuha nila yung proper ranking ng mga outcome, no? Whether it's president, vice president, or mismo mga senators, nakukuha nila, no? So that shows you that surveys work. If
Okay.
a survey is done well, is designed well, and done well. So yun yung issue doon, kung maayos ba ang pag-iisip kung paano ka magkokolekta ng datos at maayos ba actually ang pagkokolekta ng datos. At
Okay.
yun ang tanong natin.
Yung paggawa ng surveys, kasi pasensya ka na, Dr. Toots, no? Ako talaga suspitsyosyong tao ko. Kasi may
Okay lang yun,
nakaraan,
dapat nga maging suspityoso tayo.
may nakaraan din ako, alam mo, I have worked with the good and the bad in society. And yung paggamit ng survey to influence public opinion, okay? Would you consider yung mga phone calls, yung mga parang, oh sige, tanong natin para sa araw na ito, okay, iboboto ba nyo si ganito or payag ba kayo sa ganitong patakaran, etc. Yung itong mga phone survey na ito or ano ba yun, mga likes and thumbs down, are this something that people should listen or even believe or participate in, or baka magamit lang sila?
Ang sense ko naman kasi kung walang magiging problema, kung gusto lang malaman natin, oh, dito sa ating grupo, sa mga kaibigan natin, sino ba iboboto natin? So, depende sa iyong purpose. Pero kung gagamitin mo yung estimate na yun para mag-judge na, ay, mananalo ang ating kandidato, mali yun, no? So, depende sa iyong purpose. Kung ang purpose mo is to be able to get a sense na, oh, lahat ng mga kaibigan ko, medyo ganito, ay meron pang ibang mga kaibigan ko na hindi yata para sa kandidato ko, paano kaya mai-influensyan yung mga ganon. So okay lang yun if those, depende nga sa purpose mo. Pero kung ang purpose na yun is to get a reading of the national figure based on yung mga friends mo, ay your friends may not represent the entire country. So yung tinatawag ko nga dyan is meron tayong mga tatawag na echo chambers. Yung echo chambers, naririnig natin yung sinasabi natin, nag-e-echo. So ibig
Para ka
sabihin,
nasa kuweba, katulad ko, nasa kuweba ako ngayon. Kung ano yung binibigkas ko, yun din na nadidinig ko.
absolutely. So yun yung nagiging problema natin with many of the surveys na nakikita natin sa Facebook, especially sa social media, no? Ang tendency is yung na-amplify yung echo chambers. So akala mo, ay, ang lakas ng aking kandidato, ay, ang dami nag-pink. Pero actually, mismo sa aking hindi naman gano'ng karami, no? So depende sa grupo mo. If your friends list are a representative sample of the national, okay. Pero kung kunwari, lahat ng mga kaaway mo sa politika sa Facebook, dinilit mo, in-unfriend mo. Eh di syempre, ang mga matitira yung mga kaalyado mo lang. So yun
Mhm.
yung nagiging problema. So I think we should be a little bit careful when we are trying to examine all types of surveys, because as I said, hindi lahat ng survey pare-pareho. Hindi lahat ng survey, yung pagkakagawa ng survey ay makakapagbigay sa atin ng impormasyon na tungkol sa national reading. Pero posibleng nagsasabi lang siya tungkol sa mga kaibigan mo.
Okay. How can our viewers figure out o paano nila malalaman kung itong survey ay kapani-paniwala o hindi? Kasi talaga sa totoo lang ang dami nang lumapit sa akin na, "Kuya, totoo ba 'to?" Sabi ko, "Hello. Saan bang kuweba nanggaling 'yan in the last 6 years? Pagkatapos naniniwala kayong ganyan kapopular 'yan."
Yeah, kaya nga ako, to be quite honest, I will always unang-una dapat maging suspicious tayo pag nakakakita tayo ng any survey results. Hindi lang survey, pati yung kunwari may makita kang, oh, ganito yung dapat gawin para hindi magkaroon ng COVID, ganyan. So minsan kasi ang dami-dami mga suggestions, there's so much information, pero maraming fake news, maraming mga at paano mo malalaman kung ano yung fake news at anong totoo? Ang punto is kailangan mag-research ka, tignan mo paano na-produce yung datos na gano'n, no? Kasi minsan ang daling magpaniwala sa mga nakikita mong mga artikulo, no? Kaya I'm just glad you asked me here kasi ang media very important yung role ninyo, no? Kung hindi nyo kasi kaya nga tawag media, no? You are the medium of communication, and kung ang binibigay niyo mga artikulo o may mga resulta kayo na nilalagay ninyo sa mga news ninyo, hindi naman talaga kapanipaniwala yung survey. And yet, ilalagay ninyo. Maniniwala nga yung mga tao na, ay, totoo yun. Sabi kasi ni Cito Beltran, totoo yun. So, yun yung nagiging problema natin. You are the ones, you have a very big responsibility. And tulad ng sabi na nga ni Spider-Man, no? With
great power.
Great power comes great responsibility. Your power in the media can be used or abused. So that's why you have to be extra careful. At ganun din sa publiko. Sinasabi ko rin sa publiko na sana gamitin yung kokote, no? Bago kayo, wag lahat ng bagay na nakikita niyo sa Facebook ay papaniwalaan niyo. Lahat ng bagay na nakikita sa news. Kailangan medyo titignan niyo muna yung source of the survey. Paano nila ginawa? Tignan niyo yung website, mag-imbestiga kayo. Paano ba nila ginawa? Ilan yung margin of error? Probability survey ba ito? Ito sino ba ang nagpabayad nito? So yun yung mga ganong basic questions dapat tinatanong mo. At kailangan gamitin ang kokote.
Okay, alam mo, Dr. Toots, with all due respect, because I know you love your numbers, your statistics, and your life commitment, pero I'm now beginning to realize that instead of telling people to investigate, analyze, study all these surveys, mas mabuti pa sigurong aralin nila ng husto yung mga kandidato, hindi yung mga sabi-sabi tungkol sa kandidato. Am I correct?
Absolutely. Kasi may nagtanong sa akin dun sa aking lecture, paano ba natin gagamitin yung survey para makapili ng kandidato? Sabi ko, hindi dapat ginagamit yung survey sa pagpili ng kandidato. Dapat tanungin nyo, kunwari, kung medyo lumalamang yung mga certain na kandidato, tanungin nyo muna, ano ba plataforma? Anong gagawin nito pag na-elect ito? Kasi naalala ko yung sinabi ni Dolphy, no, na madaling tumakbo, paano kung manalo? Marami sa mga kandidato. Hindi natin alam kung ano ba gagawin nila pag nanalo yung mga yan. So, kailangan magtanong kayo, ano ang plano nyo sa gobyerno pag kayo ang naging pangulo, pag kayo naging pangalawang pangulo. Kasi minsan, nagiging senador kung sino-sino binoboto, tapos hindi naman talaga gumagawa ng batas. Kung nagpapapogi lang, hindi ba? So, medyo gamitin ang kokote.
Okay, well, thank you, Dr. Toots, and we hope to be calling on you in the near future kasi malamang at sa malamang maglalabasa na itong mga major survey, and having you on board makes a big difference because you know what you're talking about. I, on the other hand, simply talk. Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Toots.
You're welcome, Cito. I'm glad to be here.
Okay, that's Dr. Jose Ramon Albert and Dr. Toots Albert, and yun po, no, as you may have been taking notes, first of all, the surveys can be affected by a big event. It can take place during a big event or right after a big event, so the results of the survey can be skewed. Okay, number one. Number two, the people doing the survey are generally paid or get something out of doing the survey. So, depende on the transactional relationship and intention, medyo mag-iingat po kayo. Sabi nga, pag-aralan na lang yung kandidato, hindi yung kanyang mga numero at kasikatan. Okay. And that's all the time we have here. And I leave you with today's blessing. May the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace as you trust in him, so that you may overflow with hope by the power of the Holy Spirit. From Romans chapter 15, verse 13. Ako po si Cito Beltran, thanking you for joining us once again, and thanking you for subscribing to Cignal TV, watching us on channels 8 and 250. Please keep it here on One News.